There we go. I think the audio was off. Now we should have sound.
People hear us out there?
That's an S-sided cut. People can hear us now? Now the sound's feeding through.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because I have the instance of... Oh, yeah. I should actually mute that. This one can go over here.
We're playing with the software.
Yeah. Remembering all...
Tuesday edition.
Yes, Tuesday edition of playing with the software.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Been able to hear us the whole time. Okay, good.
Great.
See, now that one's an SI size. It's a little bit smaller than the mugs.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a mug size piece. So if anyone has any questions, just let us know. Got a bunch of likes. Gulliver is joined. Okay.
Been able to.
I'm like, no, that was a different message coming through. I'll read that in a second. At the moment, I'm cutting you clay. Yeah. I have one sleeve rolled up. No wonder it feels funny. And yes, it's rather dim in here today. We were promised the sun, or at least clear weather. It's a nice solid gray outside.
And damp.
Yeah. Yeah. Theodore Scott and Kevin Monday joined.
Hello.
Hello out there. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Kevin asks, do you have masterpieces that you refer to when throwing, or is this second nature this process?
Depends on the piece.
Yeah.
These I can do without really paying any attention.
There's times when she's doing throwing if she loses track of what she's working on.
Right.
This kind of shape is what she throws if she's not paying any attention.
Yeah. Doesn't matter the size of the piece of clay.
No, there's times when we've ended up with some very large cups of this shape as a result.
Yes, kind of a picture size mug. It was supposed to be a plate.
That's another RD. Alright, that one's another S side. These two are mugs.
The S sides are the handless cups that are curvy.
Like the one I just put on the shelf.
Like the one I just finished.
Looks like they might be slightly slower today. The image seems to be a bit choppy. Because not too bad. But I think we might have more of the 15 to 20 frames per second at the moment. Unlike the other day when we were getting the full 60 and we were streaming to all the places. What I could do is I could stop it going to Restream and to Twitch and stuff and see if that improves the quality. Or just leave it like this.
Or just, yeah, it's hard to say.
Because when we are throwing something that requires reference material, I'll actually open it up. See, open it, correct file. Yep. There we go. So when we're actually referencing a piece that we're going to be working on, we'll bring up an example like that.
And I'll sit here.
And she'll sit there and reference what's on the screen as she does the throwing. That Greek piece is a vessel that's actually thrown in multiple pieces.
And it's
Unlike
sitting at
mugs, which are all in piece, well, with the exception of the handle, which will be attached another day.
Yeah, because they have to warm up. For at least a day with this kind of weather.
Yeah, there's times where, this time of year, with the high moisture level, it does take more than one day at
Cold
times.
and rainy.
Yep. Not currently rainy, but definitely cold the last couple of days.
It sounds cold this morning. It was over 40.
Ah, hello, Gee.
Gee.
Not the also have Catherine Walters, and we have Jared Peterson and Michael A. Kramer joining in.
Cool.
So it looks like we've got like 8 people watching right now.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Some of the pieces that she's thrown today are actually going to be kitties. Let's see. Bring up, oh goodness, it's still, well, that might be chubby. No, discard. There we go. So when you realize just how many things you have open on your War Machine right now.
Yeah, a lot of times I'm not looking at what I'm throwing.
No.
It's just cups. Because I'm just kind of staring out at the hills.
Hello, Angel. Kim Tomlinson.
Ah,
So you have a number of people in today. Ooh, it's up to 9.
Cool.
Let's see. Correct folder.
You. In. In. Done.
There we go.
Oh,
Is
yeah, that is kind of
that-
chunky, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, maybe we should cut one.
Because that is the kind of piece that we're working on today when it comes to the throw.
Maybe not have it on Twitch. I think
It
that
will Twitch and YouTube both hook up. They're both being streamed to from the same source. So it's having it go to both of those
yeah,
or neither.
Kind of. Yeah, maybe neither. Because that's, well, now it's not.
It seems to be varying. I can also go check to see if there's anyone else using the data.
Yeah.
Eleanor, are you using just one hand to compress the rim?
Yeah, a lot of times I have. I'll explain it more when I get to that point. Because I have one hand on the outside, and I'll use my fingers. Here. It'll only be a few seconds. Because one hand on the inside, one hand on the outside, up like this. And then what I do to do that is I have my
Yep. That
hands
helped.
like this.
Somebody was playing a video in the other room.
Oh,
Because,
right, sweet.
yeah, now the speed...
No, it looks fine.
Yeah, the speed's much better now.
Yeah, because he was probably playing a game and watching a
The
video.
game was not online. The video was.
Oh, I see. Yeah. And we have unlimited data plan. There's only so much bandwidth.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, to compress I use both hands, but one is. With this one
One's
hand I'm
bracing
going up.
and the other one's controlling.
This one is keeping the top rim rounded. And this one is just
And when our hands are on the inside, yeah, it's both hands are working to compress. But yeah, both hands compress all the way up to the rim.
Yeah.
When she's holding specifically the rim, it's more or less refining the edge.
And with this, the refining of rounding the edge because it's the shape of right here.
Yep.
Keeps it rounded. Because it's uncomfortable to drink out of a cup that has a sharp edge.
Gotcha, thanks.
Okay.
Tea's just cooled off enough to drink.
Well, you can drink your tea right now.
Yes,
I
you
can't.
can drink your tea until it's done. Oh, you need more clay.
Yes, I
More
do.
mugs?
Yeah, unless someone wants to see me throw something other than a mug.
Are there any shapes that people would like to see? Super cool tip.
Cool.
So
Glad I
now,
could help.
While we're waiting, if there's any requests, that piece is the 30-ish, so that'd either be a plate or a big mug. Could throw some of those, nice round big belly mugs.
Round big belly mugs.
Lots of tea. Lots of tea. Not to say that, like, large tea mugs. And Rose would like to see a goblet, so I'll cut you off a goblet-sized piece for the next one. 30 ounces would make a very large goblet.
Yeah.
Very large. Not to say that we haven't made those.
Yeah.
Just not in a while. There was one time when we got a request for yes, it was a goblet with a handle, scaled to fit an entire bottle of wine.
Okay. I love this cup.
Oh yeah, we've seen it since and still in like perfect condition.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. Considering that was also B-Mix. Okay, so there's a 24-ounce piece for you next. There's a towel just off screen right here that try to keep less clay on my keyboard.
Behind me is a whole stack of towels.
Yeah.
It's where old towels go to die.
That. Yeah. There's towels. That entire stack there is towels.
No. Oh, to make it belly.
It's always fun watching it going from a straight up cylinder to the bellied shape.
Yeah.
Because that part is always this real instantaneous process where it's just goes from meh to cool.
Big bug.
Yeah. And that will probably shrink down to be more in scale with this guy. It will be a little bit taller. This clay has the, 11-ish? Shrinkage rate. 11%. Okay, so goblet.
Goblet. Gobble, gobble, gobble. It's after Thanksgiving. Yeah, everything starts off as a cylinder.
Okay, do you want to attempt throwing one of the plate bases for doing that fluted plate? Or do you want to try that another day?
I think we'll try that.
That's going to be a complex one.
Yeah.
And so is that. Actually, they'll probably start off with similar shape.
What was the other one?
Somebody wants us to make the lidded butter dish.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got to throw the bowl with the small foot and then squish it. Squishy. Probably that one will be similar in lines to the shaping of a skull, except far more geometric.
Yeah.
We have Victoria Brumley, Amy Hubbard, Sandra Linham, and Chris Evans there. And at the moment it says there are 7 people, but I really wonder if it's a case where you have the ones that are visible or the ones that aren't visible, given the sources.
Yeah.
So I have that issue on my phone where my phone thinks that its searches are desktop, even though it's on a mobile device. Check. Sunderland's waving. Hello! Hello! And then that's what little bubbles come up.
The bubbles.
And there's not much difference when you're throwing between throwing a mug and throwing a goblet, is there?
No.
It's
just what I do with the base.
Yeah. This is, you can see the base has suddenly gotten smaller, and those ridges in the stem part of the goblet, those are her formed with her fingertips.
Like that.
Yep.
It's not a rude gesture, I promise.
Those ones require a bit more concentration because since they have that smaller base, that pinch point in it, they're far more likely to tip.
Really?
Yeah. Demonstrate making it all wobbly briefly, and then
because
it
can.
Yeah, it's got the pinch point. Until it's dry, that's a structural instability. It's like Windows. It's a. Now, Claire Jackson joined in. Hello, people, as you come in here.
And goblet.
There we go. And that's the goblet as it's fresh off the wheel. And the things that don't have handles, I actually put on a different shelf from the ones that will have handles.
Because the ones that will have handles need to dry in a more controlled fashion.
Yeah, you don't want them to dry too far before you put the handles on.
Okay.
Should also probably make some minis.
Minis.
Also known as pieces of 8. Because it's about how much clay they take.
8 ounces of clay.
8 ounces of clay.
Is after having a order of 120.
That one's only 6 ounces. You okay with that?
Sure.
Oh, look, I hadn't finished weighing it. And especially with clay that size, it takes her maybe 5 seconds to center. So it's incredible watching the speed at which these small pieces go. Heaven roads, woohoo! We still have a stack of... Yeah, there's still a stack of plates and stack of bowls in the other room undecorated. So what we need largely are the drinking vessels. So a couple of minis, then go back to RDs unless anybody else has a requested shape. Could do a pitcher.
I could, yeah. That's what happens when my finger hits the edge.
Yep.
But see,
recovered.
It's not fatal. And pour the extra water.
Okay, you got another mini there, and then this is like a 70-ounce piece. Should be a good size for a pitcher. Hello, Matt Bittman. Hello, Catherine Kelly. We also have Joel Miskel in there. We have Ron Dewey, Claire Jackson, Chris Donovan. It's your cousin, isn't it?
Cousin, yes.
Oh, no, wrong shelf. Oh, and I have those. The black clay plates from the other day seem to be drying okay.
We have a...
Brilliant way to get the water out of tiny things.
Oh.
Yeah, because if you try to squeeze a sponge in there...
You're just going to distort your piece.
Oh boy, we got it. It was slowed down for a bit there. But yeah, if you try to... Ooh, yeah. Low frame count.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry for the slow visuals. Hopefully the sound's coming through okay. Let's see. Oh, is it starting to come back? No. Still having a bit of freeze frame here.
Oh, yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, here. Can do is close a few things in the background. Okay, sound is good, so even if it's freeze framing, it looks like people are still being able to hear us.
Okay.
So we just have, slideshow version of you throwing.
And voila.
Get that from you. Oh, there we go. Looks like the video's come back. Jinx Cormac. Hey, Cormac getting the blame for slowing the video.
Oh. Where else would
Christine
I?
Coates joined. Raphael Pozos joined. It's got more people. Looks like we're holding steady between about 7 and 10 people watching at any one time.
Yeah.
People often do. So this piece will be a
This will take me a little longer
Yeah.
to center.
that'll take her a little longer to center.
70 ounces, which is how many pounds?
Base 16 anyone. It's because we use it's actually a baking scale. It's a 5-pound baking scale to weigh out the clay. So we'll generally refer to things in terms of ounces rather than pounds. Especially when things are smaller, a little like 5 or 8 ounce pieces.
Yeah, there's something underneath this bath which was
Yeah, I
causing
could
ticky
I could hear the clicka clicka clicka. And then you put it on top of the water you need. Sometimes there's gunk on the head of the wheel there, and she has to put water. It's largely water.
It's largely. It's when the water starts hoping its shape, it's not water anymore.
Yeah.
That's slip.
It can be very thin slip, but slip nonetheless.
What I do is, the same as for smaller pieces, I brace my elbows on the edge of the wheel and holding them in place with the sides of my knees.
Yes, because she's using basically all 4 limbs to provide support for the throwing at the moment. And because she's been doing it for so long, she makes opening it in the middle there look incredibly easy.
Because I have strong little thummies.
Yeah, shaking hands with Potter is dangerous for the shape of your hands. 2 modes, open and crush.
Yeah.
So
I always disobey the hand of friendship.
That's only when you don't like the person.
Yeah, I only did that once, honestly.
Maybe twice.
Yeah.
Yes, and this piece this size will take multiple pulls to get it to its full height.
Well, there's a lot more.
There's a lot of clay. As well as those little mini cups that we were throwing, those weighed between 6 and 8 ounces of clay. This is 70. Do you want me to pull up a picture of a picture?
Sure.
Whether or not we actually do give a design on said picture. Just bringing up a photograph.
Clouds look like they might be breaking up.
You see how much of it was really just morning fog?
Yeah, because it was very even.
Not that. That's one of those funny shit things. Oh, it's one of the Italian ones with like that pinched slab construction spout thing. So now, that one's going as a taller one.
Yeah. Well, it was 70 ounces.
Yeah. Well, it could have also been rounded.
It's still thick enough to make it a little rounded.
Okay. Do you want to go for something like that shape?
Not good. Or why don't you bring up 2 and then you can ask people out there which one they like.
So I will
Get input.
go up because I think there's some other pictures in here. Yeah. That one's too much like the other one. Let's try the Deruta folder. As yes, I'm going through the Italian source material, of which we have it separated out by city-state. Always trying to, get the source material up before she's done over there.
I'm ready for it. Yeah.
Fudge. It's proving ornery. Oh, I see. I grabbed that one. I thought I'd open this folder.
A lot of water left in this water, but there's still.
There's a different shape.
Oh yeah.
So there's the people want to see the one with the centaur on it, or see if it'll come up in just a moment here. Oh, I see. I opened it at the wrong program because it's set to only open one, show ones with a certain program. Yep. The one with the musician.
Okay. Which one?
So, musician, the shape of the picture with the musician on it, or the one with the shape of the one with the centaur on it. Which one should we do? So there's the musician one. There's the centaur one. Do people have I like the centaur shaped one.
Okay.
That one is an elegant shape.
It is.
Swarbles, I'm trying to decide which shade of green blue would best replicate that. Because it's not really the turquoise. Would it be the Italian green?
Watered down Italian green.
Yeah. That's the thing with the period colorants is that using modern colors to replicate them, sometimes you can get close but not exact, in part because you don't want to use the toxic elements that they did.
Yeah.
There's the line between historical accuracy and not poisoning anybody.
Including ourselves.
Got a second vote for of course, for the centaur.
Imagine that.
Definitely think that the text on that screen is clearer now.
Yeah, because I can read it from over here.
Yeah, I was noticing that. We were installing some of our holiday gifts early last night because it was going to improve
but also
quality
because post servers threw the boxes up onto the deck.
Yeah.
They were computer parts. So much
Box
for
computer parts were thrown onto our front porch by USPS last night. Thank you for not poisoning your customers with historical accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the two computer parts survived being thrown onto our deck.
The other one didn't.
The other one didn't, so we were having to go through the process of getting a replacement sent out to us.
That would suck to open up something.
Really glad we didn't wait until,
my internal alarm was going off. Open it now.
That was bad. Well, we heard the mail arrive. It went thud. And we were getting packaged, and we knew what was going to be the package.
Solid state drive and a video card.
The video card survived. The solid state drive didn't.
Well, those things are tiny anymore.
And they look like big memory dims. Yes, and as you can see now, there's a lot of times when she's throwing, and she's not actually looking at what she's throwing. Though I suppose right now you are.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's side by side. So this is interesting.
Okay, so at this point she's actually using the footage of her throwing to watch what she's doing and see the side by side of the shape she's throwing and the historic shape. Just because it looked over and saw you just you're very concentrated on at the screen. It's so meta.
It is, though, really.
It's a good thing there's not significant lag at the moment.
Well, if there was, I couldn't be doing that part.
No. That'd be a good way of getting motion sick.
Luckily, I don't suffer from that.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's kind of cool. Yeah, you're getting pretty close there. Cause, yeah, that one has that more of that early period conical shaped foot. Because this one piece is from Orvieto. It's about 1400.
Yeah, that's
the
what I
ancient
was
piece.
gonna say. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that one's in one of those like Danish or Netherlands museums. The name of the museum is RIJKS.
Yeah.
Nah, just.
And if you looked at it, it's starting to develop a natural spout. Because when you're coloring it in, which is making it go in instead of out, once the material has to go somewhere, and often it will become
Yeah, as you can see,
uneven
it's
at the
already
top,
starting to form that natural lip point.
which
as
is
you can
kinda
see,
cool.
the wobbling of the top that you can see on the screen there. If I remember, this might be a good practice moving forward, even if not streaming. Yeah, because it gives you that side-on view that you don't get when you're throwing. Because sometimes she's throwing a piece that's a replica shape, and she'll stop, take the piece off the bat, and take the piece off the wheelhead, hold it up, and go, wait, not the right shape. Put it back on the wheelhead and keep throwing. Oh, yeah, that's developing the real distinct lip there, isn't it?
Uh-huh. It's one of those times it pays to have small hands.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get your hand inside like that if your hands were bigger. If you were a potter with larger hands, you'd be using potter's thumb to do that, which is a stick with kind of a thumb shape to the end of it.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
I use that mostly when I'm doing Greek pieces. So
Yeah.
if I can find it.
I think they might be in the other. Oh, no, I see one of them.
Oh, good.
Yes. Because that is a potter's thumb.
See,
because if she was throwing, she'd be bracing against that part there. Because you use it as how you'd normally use your hand. Yeah, getting it pretty darn close this time. Also means that the piece of clay is being relatively friendly.
Yeah.
Because there's always that piece which goes, nope, not gonna do it.
There's always that bastard.
It could be a flaw in the clay. It could be that it picks up a bit of crumble from the scale. Because everything around pottery ends up encrusted with clay.
Basic clay color.
Your basic clay color is kind of this light orangey tone. Thus, the color that a lot of towels become around here. That is the color that a white towel will turn in a potter studio. At least with the varieties of clay that we use. Jeremy Lester joining in. Hello! Okay. Oh, I see. You're comparing shape.
Yeah.
Pull the spout. It's got a really subtle one.
Yeah, but you see, I was
double checking the final shape.
Yeah.
So now she's finding the high point and pulling the spout. Yeah, because this one just has a really soft, gentle spout to it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's got one of those flatter, strappy type handles.
Yeah.
May have one in that bag.
Yeah.
Because
it'd be easy enough to...
Yeah, it'd be easy enough to pull. Because oftentimes what we'll do is we'll pull a whole bunch of handles at once. And we've discovered that we can store them and keep them in a workable state for
A couple months.
couple months, even
In a Ziploc
in
bag.
Ziploc bags.
A gallon Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
There.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Directly over that shape. Pretty
okay.
close. Okay, let's see.
Next.
Oh, no, he's got to go on the top shelf. It's too tall.
Well, that's good.
That's going to be a pretty good sized picture.
Yeah, it is.
Goofy
It's
fingers.
He's cool.
Oh, yeah, 70 ounces. That's what I generally cut you off the pictures. Should we do another picture? Or?
Yeah, we could do another
Because
picture.
we have one at the moment,
Yeah.
maybe. We do things like pictures mostly in the winter time or spring because they have a longer drying period and
You don't want them to dry.
you don't. Yeah. Okay. 65 ounces.
I don't want more up in Washington. We only have smoking.
Yeah, they use up a lot more space in the kiln. If we're trying to get numbers produced, we have to stick with the more space-efficient pieces.
Mugs.
Mugs, plates. Plates are
Plates.
relatively space-efficient, so long as they're the right aspect ratio. To get as many onto the shelf in the kiln as possible. Kevin Wright's gorgeous, though it looks a bit like the original spout is pinched a bit. That one likely isn't that extreme because if there was more of a pinch to it, you would see more of a You'd see more of a shadow right there in the spout right there with the lighting that the museum's put. That one you don't see a dark shadow on the side of the spout, so it's unlikely that it would have an extreme pinch to it. Because, close that one. I have multiple views of the one that has the musicians on it. And I'm going to show you just how extreme sometimes the pinches get. Once I get the right... Okay. Because if you see that one's just about folded in on itself there. That's kind of a three-finger method, both hands, to get that kind of shape to the spout. Oh, okay, I was interpreting the dark spot over the center's head as a bit of a shadow. And more likely as a smudge in the clay. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Spent so much time staring at photographs of pottery going, okay, what is that? Is it an imperfection in the original glazing? Is it a flaw that has been introduced during the centuries after it was made? Was it a design element?
Yeah, some of those design elements were really something.
Yeah. It's like, okay, what is it? Because there's times where it's a piece where it's hard to tell what sort of animal is being depicted or what the design's meant to be. But you'll be staring at it and working at it. Maybe you've drawn it a bunch of times and then you realize, oh wait, that line over there, it's a leg. And then the rest of the design makes a lot more sense and it's easier to draw. Or paint. Because there's times where, and you ask me, Sarah, what's this?
What
What
did you hand
is
me
this?
time?
And I'm like, oh, sorry. Here's the source image and it's meant to be this.
Thank you. Always helps to have the source image. And not spend a half an hour looking for it.
I've tried to get to the point where I have the files organized in a logical manner and rename them so that they're easy to find.
Next time I could do the other one.
Is it going to make the... Oh, here, let me get... Let's see if I just this a few, actually. There. Is that a good angle of it? The side
that's
view?
fine.
Because this one's actually... That one's a little more side on
Yeah.
than the other pictures. Because the The interesting and kind of frustrating thing about that particular jug is that there are three medallions on the piece. One is this design.
Two of them.
One has a close-up of a fellow with a lute, and there's no photographs that we've been able to find of the third medallion.
You just see a glimpse that
Yeah,
there
you
is one.
just see the edge of it right there. That's as much as we've been able to see. Just the edge of the wreath surrounding it. Of a description. It's like the picture of a saint, if I recall correctly. Yeah. But haven't been able to find an image. Eleanor Bolton is so excited to see how you color in the neck. This one has a rather extreme neck. It's got that kind of honeypot shape to it.
Yeah.
And in the photograph of it, you can actually see these little dark things down at the foot. Pretty sure those are holding the piece of pottery in place in the display, just in case of earthquakes, because earthquakes happen. Let's see, now I don't have in the file name which museum this is in, or at least not in that one. Okay, have it in one of the other photographs. This one's in the Getty.
I thought that. I remember seeing that one in person.
And you could have gotten a photo.
I know.
Well, just at some point we'll have to go back and get
the Getty, not the Getty Villa.
Yeah.
The one that has the
one that
parking
has the
garage that goes down into the side of a hill.
She does not like parking garages. Can you tell?
Earthquakes can make things collapse. There's all those tons and tons of concrete.
Part of her thing with parking garages is the fact that we lived in the Bay Area during the Loma Prieta, and she had a number of friends who worked emergency services during that and were the people digging out the bodies and what few survivors they found out of the collapsed cement structures like the Cypress structure.
Yeah. Well, that one had always been creepy because he'd go whoop.
Yeah, when there's sags in the road, it's never a good sign.
Yeah. Well, if I remember correctly, that one was built in the 50s.
I wouldn't know.
I think. I remember hearing
I was
that.
just old enough to remember that quake. Watching her adjust the whole shape. And right there, that's a gesture that most teachers will tell you could lead to failure. Because the coloring in with both hands on the outside like that, if you don't do it just right, can cause collapse. And you end up with a piece of pottery that looks like Salvador Dali made it. That is a really weird shaped neck.
Yeah, it is. It was starting to go up more than I wanted it to. Oh, there we go. That's better. Look.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have a sharp.
No.
It has the very
if anything, your piece at the moment is wider than the original.
Yeah, but there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. And
This one
a slight, yeah, then it's an example of a piece of clay having choices that it makes about what it's going to do. But yeah, there again, you can see how there's starting to be that high point to the lip forming.
I have my finger up here so I can feel where it's leaving a flat spot on the top of the lip.
She's tracking the highest point on the lip, so she can make that the really extreme pinchness there. So what she does is she pulls with the other hand, and that gives you that nice water flow right there. It's basically you're building the path for the water to follow.
There.
There we go.
Now it looks a little bit more like it.
Yes.
Not quite as tall.
No. Turn it that way. Yeah. But that's also an easy adjustment angle for the eventual design.
The dirty towel. Just get too gooey.
Yep. The clay towels all have a segregated hamper that they go into.
Yes.
Because you don't want to. It's a good way of turning light clothes clay colored by getting the clay towels with the wrong look. Frank Eager added.
Hello. How are you?
Okay, you need more clay.
I need more clay.
And we are approaching the end of the bag.
I need more cups.
Yes, because we need the mugs.
Need some mugs.
There's never a thing.
Gotta mug it up.
There's never enough mugs. Yep, that's a mug size. Probably be like either 3 or 4 mugs left here. Okay. Other one. So after measuring off all those large pieces, it's back down to the 26-ounce pieces. So it looks like there'll be 3 mugs and a small cup. Small-ish. What's a 19-ounce piece? I think I buried an ear tool.
Yeah, look. Some of that
Luckily,
may have been fall.
so it's burning off? Oh, yeah.
Or
So
at
it looks
least
like
moving on past.
Yeah.
Got prettier clouds now.
It'll be glary soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, clay isn't too bad for things like keyboards and mice. As long as it's just the dry, dusty components thereof. Plenty of it in my keyboard.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you can tell precisely the keys that I don't use. Maybe I should clean my keyboard again soon.
Keyboard.
Well, it gets lots of clay dust on it. Yeah, there's part of the number pad that doesn't have visible symbols on it.
Because you never use it.
I don't really use the number pad much.
Well, you don't do books either, so.
No, I don't do bookkeeping on this machine.
Yeah, that's my
And
machine.
the only keys that I use over there are for gaming. Well, in part because I'm left-handed. The mouse is, and that means that the number keys are all on the right.
It's one of those things, is it?
You don't
You have 2
care
hands.
you don't care which hand you're using. You're ambidextrous. It doesn't count.
I wonder if that helps with throwing.
I have wondered that on occasion because for you,
Because
the
people
direction.
say right-handed, left-handed, and it's like,
Yeah,
well, what
because
does it mean? The right hand on the inside or the left hand on the inside?
Dyslexic and ambidextrous. Left, right has no meaning to her.
It's usually the left hand on the outside and the right hand on the inside.
Unless you have a wheel that spins in the traditionally Asian direction.
Which is the other way.
Because,
Then you just adjust.
yeah, some people just adjust. Because your wheel spins counterclockwise.
Yes.
Because I had to look.
Goes that way, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I have this hand on the outside. And this hand.
Yeah, because it doesn't work if you try to do it the other way around. If you try to break
it the way someone had showed you how to do it, and it's good. No wonder you're having problems throwing.
Yeah,
And
because
you just said she didn't like throwing, which is
I was in middle school at the time.
which was understandable.
And anymore, I've been taking over some of the handwork activities so that you can get more painting done. Because she used to do the pulling of all of the handles, and nowadays I've been doing a good portion of the handles. And I do the first step in sculpting like heads, both for Rhytons and for skulls. And then we'll actually pan those back and forth.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing later is writing.
Then we have a table full of Rhyton heads that have to be sculpted.
Oh, we already finished the skulls.
The skull, we finished a batch of
But you know what?
skulls
If they roll off
last
the
week.
bowl, then real heads will roll.
No, I don't want the heads to roll. They could go squish on the floor, and that would be bad. Or that pok sound that breaking dry pottery makes.
Yeah. I was thinking when you're working on them, so things.
Yeah, we have had that on occasion. There was one that rolled right into your lap.
Yeah, it did. It was funny.
And then you had to fix the squished face. So just 2 more pieces left to the stream.
It's measured in pieces.
It's measured in pieces rather than minutes. So I've noticed that it tends to be right and around an hour long. An hour to an hour 15.
Well, to do 25 pounds of clay.
Yeah.
Which is a bag of clay.
Yes.
Somebody else.
And Stephanie Cohen joined.
Cool.
So I'm gonna check all this clay. Ugh. And I'm getting the rest, that second bag of the Grecian color softened to the right consistency. Because soon we will be throwing a batch of amphora.
Yes.
Amphorae? Plural?
A bunch of body parts.
A bunch of amphora bits.
That sounds kind of.
It's not rude.
It's Greek.
Well, that's saying it is rude. Because Greeks put everything on their pottery. Everything.
Yeah. These ones won't be ready in time for Geek the Halls. They will be ready for 12th night.
Yes. Or if people place more mug orders between now and probably the 15th of December, could conceivably have them done before Christmas, but it's from
They
not
have to be. Only have last
It's
time
sooner.
we will be like the 19th. to make
Yeah.
Sure that
because after the 19th, we generally won't ship until after Christmas, sometimes after the first of the year, because things mailed after the 19th of December have a tendency of
not arriving.
not arriving in the same number of pieces they left our hands in, which is not fun. I have gotten really good at placing USPS insurance claims over the years, but that's not something I want to have to do. Okay, last piece.
Oh, we still have more people.
We have more people joining in. Have Andrea Scott and Roger C. Young.
Last piece. Should it be a cup or a bowl?
Yeah, because
Okay.
high teens. Cup or bowl, people? Should the last piece be a cup or a bowl? You gotta wait. We still have like 4 people, according to the little view monitor up in the corner. Well, you can start centering.
Yeah.
My tea's almost gone. Bowl.
Bowl. Okay.
Cormac says bowl.
It's nice when it's interactive here.
Yep. So the thing with being merchant is once we hit after early October, really don't see much of people in person until January.
We will see people in December.
Yeah,
We're
because
up at Geek the Halls
yeah.
in Portland.
The 15th and 16th of December we'll be at Geek the Halls in Portland. It's the same hotel that on Tier 12th night is going to be at. So we'll have a chance of seeing people up in that area at that time, which will be fun. Even if it means that we'll be traveling on my birthday.
Which is the 17th.
Yeah, my birth. Yeah. It won't be the first time we'll be traveling on one of our birthdays. It won't be the last. Bull! Bull! There we go. And there's the bowl.
Yes.
So, that's the end of this bag of clay.
Okay.
It'll be the end of this throwing today. Probably might be, in about 2 days' time that we'll be doing some more throwing.
Yeah.
And probably be doing the live stream via this this account again because it seems to have gotten a fair bit of interest, got more viewers than doing the other ways.
Yeah.
So we tend to throw in the morning. So earlier in the day. But if people would like to see us throw later in the day or catch us in the evening, let us know and we can change when we do the throwing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can drop us a line after the stream or leave comments here, and we'll get them and take that into go. So we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.